Major General Paul L. Williams was an aviation pioneer and a mobility leader whose organizational skills brought together all troop carrier activities in Europe, resulting in major mobility operations which helped win World War II for the Allies. Following the war, General Williams continued his leadership of the mobility forces as he commanded the 3rd and 9th Air Forces, establishing command and control, operational procedures and tactics, techniques and procedures that still exist today. Major General Paul L. Williams began his 33-year military career by volunteering for service at the beginning of World War I. He completed pilot training through the Aviation Cadet Program, earning his wings and lieutenant bars in 1918. However, it was too late for him to participate in the war. Fortunately, he was retained by the Army Air Service as one of the few pilots remaining on active duty after demobilization. During his early years of service, he served in various flying units, including observation, training, pursuit, attack, and bombers. By the start of World War II, he had risen to the rank of colonel, commanding the 27th Bombardment Group, Savannah, Georgia. In 1942, Colonel Williams moved to England to plan and lead bomber operations. However, mobility operations needed an organizational boost, and he was the man to make it happen. After organizing and leading the theater's troop carrier force, he planned the employment of mobility forces in support of Operation Torch, the invasion of North Africa. The success of Operation Torch led to Williams' assignment as the commander of the 51st Troop Carrier Wing, managing all mobility forces in North Africa. He led the mobility forces in a series of operations to airdrop forces to capture airfields before the Germans overran them. He developed mobility concepts that included integrity of formations, accurate navigation, and more precise airdrops. The next stop for this mobility leader was 12th Air Force, where he tackled the organization of the 12th Air Support Command, providing logistical support to ground forces from the air. Tested early on, Williams' creative and aggressive leadership during the Battle of Kasserine Pass allowed 12th Air Support Command units to make fighting withdrawals from their forward air bases and play a vital role in bottling up the Axis offensive. 12th Air Force success saw Colonel Williams promoted to Brigadier General and reassigned to the Northwest African Air Force's Troop Carrier Command. Here he planned the air portion of Operation Husky, the invasion of Sicily. Operation Husky suffered several operational difficulties, including high en route winds, night navigation, friendly fire from Allied ships, and inadequate training. But the mobility forces pressed on to deliver most of their troops to the battlefield. General Williams turned the lessons learned into new mobility tactics and doctrine, including drop zone pathfinder teams, electronic navigational aids, and better training in both day and night formation flying. After moving back to England in 1944, General Williams took command of 9th Air Force Troop Carrier Command, melding together the mobility forces of America and Britain to provide operations and logistic support to ground forces. His organizing, training, and doctrinal experience were key elements to the successful conduct of Operation Varsity, the attack across the Rhine in March 1945. He led an airdrop of 16,000 soldiers and equipment, using 1,600 mobility aircraft, 1,300 gliders, and supply drops by B-24s. The mobility aircraft fought through poor visibility and haze to deliver all 16,000 troops on or near the drop zone. In a final mobility operation during World War II, General Williams provided vital support to Allied forces during the Battle of the Bulge. Mobility aircraft shifted 13,400 soldiers and more than 2,000 tons of combat supplies from England to France in a period of 4 days. To improve productivity, General Williams created a centralized theater-level Combined Air Transport Operations Room, predecessor to today's Combined Air Operations Center. The Operations Center allocated airlift sorties to users and flying units and established standardized missions. Following the war, General Williams remained the principal mobility leader in the Air Force as commander of the 4th and 9th Air Forces from 1945 to 1947. General Williams culminated his career by commanding Air Defense Forces as the commander of the 2nd and 10th Air Forces, where he directed the organization and early operations of forces engaged in the defense of the central United States. Major General Paul L. Williams retired from the Air Force in 1950, following 33 years of distinguished service. Major General Paul L. Williams, a mobility pioneer whose leadership and organization set the bedrock for the mobility operations we employ today, is recognized for his outstanding foresight by induction into the Airlift Tanker Association Hall of Fame for 2017.